Hello and welcome back to another episode on the channel by me, TheWisejames. Today going to cover something a little bit different to politics and science. This is a video from a channel called Call of Shame. Basically what he does is he exposes cheaters on Call of Duty, but other games recently like Battlefield 6 on the beta. And he's been receiving a bit of backlash for it. And so I wanted to watch the video because I've been watching what's been going on recently with him because it's been interesting. Because the one problem with the Battlefield 6 beta was all the cheaters, but in fairness, Battlefield knew that was going to happen and used it to train their anti-cheat AI, and all the cheaters used it to try and test their new hacks and stuff because it was free, and that way they didn't have to pay to test their tools, if that makes sense. So let's get into it.
I just got fucking permabanned.
575 to 478.
Go ahead, 575.
The streamers are live and currently exploiting request permission to issue a permanent ban.
You have a Go 575. Enjoy.
Roger that, and thank you.
These cheaters have been punished by the men and women from Ricochet. All streamers are guilty until proven innocent.
Now, as many know, I have been outspoken about Riley CS. In my opinion, I think he's cheating. I believe we have...
By the way, in case anyone's interested, I also think he is cheating as well. I played Battlefield 6 beta every day while it was out. I've been playing online shooting games since Unreal Tournament. I think the 2000 edition, Game of the Year edition. So that's literally 25 years I've been playing online shooting games. And that was cheating. I've seen professional shooting players, some of the best in the world, and that was not that. That was cheating. There's no doubt about it, that was cheating. I'm sorry that there was. Sue me.
Excellent evidence to make that claim, and I will not change my mind. So guess what happens next? They decided to do what they do best, collectively strike at the same time, but it failed.
That's what weaklings always do, because they can't fight on their own, so they have to find other weaklings to help them.
Miserably.
Stupid adverts. Apologies about that.
Why? Because everything I say or do is real, and they hate it. They hate successful, strong, hard-working, real men and women. Now, I don't normally address these trolls, but today I think I will. This is a one-time event, so enjoy it, because
I wish that said cringy instead of cringe, because if something is cringy, it makes you cringe, and if it's past tense, that would be you cringed. So it'd be lying either cringy or cringed, not cringe, but you modern Americans think that, like, I hate explaining English to Americans, but it's been a daily thing for years now.
it won't be repeated.
The first thing that really stood out to me was claiming he was a former pro Call of Duty player competing in game battles back in 2011, even showing suspicious screenshots of tournament dates, as well as trophies lined up for all the events he supposedly won. Now I checked these dates against real COD events that happened in 2011, and none of them line up at all. These events were in February and October, not in July. Like, look at these trophies. These probably aren't even real. This is what the real 2011 Call of Duty XP trophy looked like, and the differences are quite stark.
That's the prize trophy. Those are called icons, and yes, they're real. You just exposed yourself as someone who never played game battles, because anyone who was around before the Fruit Loop generation played game battles, MLG, or console gaming. The trophies are real too. They represent seasonal champions, not LAN events. This was my profile page, and they were clearly visible. What on earth are you blabbering on about?
Ranked second in the Xbox 360 Call of Duty World at War arena? This is not real. This is not an event that existed or a leaderboard anywhere that I can find.
Imagine being so young that you think that because you can't find something on the internet, in a quick search, It must not be true. Julius Caesar didn't exist, man. It's just all fake. It's all just made up. All that Wikipedia stuff, it's just lies. Julius Caesar never existed.
Not real? Yes, it's very real. I have many of them. Ranked 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and more. You see, when I was playing the Xbox 360, people like you were still defecating in your diaper, sitting in pools of your own urine, or still swimming looking...
What's this, 2010? Is that what we're talking about here? Is that right?
Yes, it's very real.
I can find.
Not real? Yes, it's very real. I have many of them. Ranked 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and more. You see, when I was playing the Xbox 360, people like you were still defecating in your diaper.
I think he said 2010, right? Or 2011. So in 2010 and 2011, I was playing Medal of Honor Allied Assault. Medal of Honor... Not Allied Assault, 2010. I don't know how they have a leaderboard. Let's have a look. I don't think they do. There are no active online, sadly. Shame. Okay, so if they did have the leaderboards, I would have been able to show you that I was in the top 10 in the world on Medal of Honor 2010 for PC, Xbox, and PlayStation 3. And I did them all on separate occasions, living in separate properties. And it was fun as fuck. Absolutely fun as fuck. Everyone had terrible broadband, so I was just running around just one-hitting people with an axe. It was hilarious, really. The internet wasn't fast enough, and neither was their computer. So I was actually number 1 on PC at one point, but I was overtaken not long after. And I then became number 1 on PlayStation. Then was it PlayStation 3, I think? And then I was in the top 10 on Xbox. Right? Obviously, I've lost all these places over time because I stopped playing. But I am also, right, like, I play World of Warcraft. Like, I only a World of Warcraft players would know from that era, but I did a lot of hardcore bossing that you had to be a very skilled player with. Doing bosses people can't even kill today in blue gear back then, subpar equipment that you required much better because I was a very good healer. I also played RuneScape since I was a kid. Like, I've got extensive gaming ability and history, right? So if we go to the Battlefield 2042 leaderboards, we'll look for my name here, TheWisejames, bosh, bosh, bosh. There's me. That's my Battlefield. I've just used the crossbow mainly. That's why it's not great, you know. But so if we go to the leaderboards, where we got leaderboards here? Leaderboards. Go to Great Britain, United Kingdom, Origin, PC only. Go to roadkills, because I'm number 1 for roadkills. Hilarious. I'm also number 1 for throw knife kills, but you can't check that one here. So there I am. You see? There's me. I am literally number 1 for my country for something. Like, it sounds stupid, I know, but it's quite funny, really, that I'm number 1 for roadkills on Battlefield 2042, but I don't even have a driver's license. That makes me laugh. But anyway, back to the video. So, I'm also a qualified computer network engineer. I've been fixing computers my entire life. I have been a qualified network engineer since I was 17. We all did our qualifications in a very intensive 6-month course in a Microsoft training academy because the UK government didn't have any technical agents to fix computers, so they did a lot of fast-track training for some to become network engineers because they needed us. And basically everyone in my class got a job at the Ministry of Defence, and we all went on to greater and good things. So I built my first website at 9 years old in like 1999, right? And I didn't need to know how to program. I didn't need to know how to do coding, because there was a website I found that was kind of like Paint. So you could build a website and you just had to drag the icons and understand a few fundamental things. And it was called Homestead. And funnily enough, I'm telling you what, I bet you it's still going. Homestead website builder. Yeah, see, look, it's still going. Still going to this day. Look at this. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Look at that. Still going to this day. I wonder if my websites are still online. So, yeah, I was building websites at like 9 years old. in 1999. But you try tell these kids this, and they'll be like, "Oh, that's just made up. Oh, he's just making it up." No, it's all fact. Literally, fact. So I'm watching this quite interested because well, I think he's right. I think he's able to accurately identify who's cheating, and I think the cheaters don't like it, and I think they're little fanboys who admire those streamers would rather attack him and think he's wrong than accept they followed a fake. And I think it's hilarious, really. Because, in fairness, although I'm very good at technology, I'm much better at people and biology. I understand the human mind quite well.
Pools of your
Being a crazy guy, that's what I do.
own urine, or still swimming looking for that egg. The fact you never experience World at War at its peak.
So I just wanted to give my credentials on reacting to this. I do know about computers, about gaming. Like, I have the credentials. I'm not a professional gamer. No. A hobbyist. It's my. I love it. I have fun. But I've never been paid for it. I've never won major Call of Duty tournaments. There was no Medal of Honor 2010 tournaments. There was Unreal 2000 tournaments, but I was 10 years old. I played Medal of Honor Allied Assault, but there was a lot of cheaters then as well. Although I'm number one on Battlefield, there's never been competitions for Battlefield 2042 because the game flopped. But because of Battlefield 6 being so popular, there will likely be competitions, and I will be entering. 100%. I don't think I'll win, but I'm going to have fun.
It's so satisfying. It really is.
It's completely fictitious. After he shows this likely AI-generated image, an inbox of some sorts, he claims to have been on the best team in the world, while also showing the emblem of the 2014 Olympic MLG crossover event.
What you're looking at is the dashboard of messages during game battles where disputes would be filed for matches. I don't know
Looks like a standard old-school inbox, yeah.
why anyone would assume it was AI generated. Everyone has a message dashboard for game battles. I don't even understand what the claim is here. As for being on the best team in the world, yes, I was. Nobody could touch us. We won everything during those seasons. And for the MLG award, you have to be joking. You only had to play in an official MLG season ladder.
Stupid adverts. Apologies again, my viewers, about the adverts. That's why I silenced them with the M button. Mute. Bam. Gone.
Like what?
To anybody familiar with COD Pro Play at the time, they know that the best team in the world can only mean Optic Gaming, and Optic Gaming happened to have won the 2014 Olympics event, making Call of Shame one of 4 possible people.
But he never said this was the team he was a part of. He's just said he considered his team the best in the world, and what was it, the Arena or World at War? I don't know, I'm not a Call of Duty guy. What was it?
Award, you have to be joking. Won everything. Best team in the world, yes, I was. Nobody could touch us. We won everything during those seasons. And for the MLG award, you have to be joking. As for being on the best team in the world, I don't even understand what the claim is here. As for being on the best team in the world, yes, I was. Nobody could touch us. We won everything during team game battle. One would assume it was AI generated. Everyone has a message dashboard for game battles. I don't even understand what the claim is here. We won everything during those seasons. LG season ladder.
Best team in the world can only mean Optic Gaming, and Optic Gaming happened to have won the 2014 Olympics event, making Call of Shame one of 4 possible people: Nadeshot, Proofy, Scump, or Clayster. All of these players are still active and obviously not Call of Shame.
Well, how would you know if they were Call of Shame? Because he could use a voiceover. I mean, to be fair to the bloke, he could easily be one of them. I'm not saying he is or he isn't. Have my own ideas. But he could use a voiceover. The modern kids confound me, because they'll start. This is a false correlation, basically, because I mean we could be talking about 2 different competitions. I don't know. I'm not a Call of Duty guy, but it seems like the 2 different competitions we're talking about here, and his team won everything he's talking about in them competitions wise, and the the guy, thinking he's wrong, claims he's won this other competition he didn't claim he's won, and he's done a false correlation, maybe? That's why I did all this checking here? I don't know. I'm not a Call of Duty guy. I've been living my life, you know. I've got a daughter. I've been living my life, building my life up. Better things to do than run around on fucking shitty maps.
This is such a bold-faced lie that it's hard to believe somebody would actually put it in a video unless they had zero idea of what the pro scene looked like at the time.
This is the worst research I have ever seen done by anyone. You are an embarrassment. Let's continue, and it's going to get even better. So this is your ace card? It's a Game Battles 2014 Olympics-themed badge. You earned it by taking part on game battles during the event window. It's not from the X Games LAN that Optic won. You earned this by simply competing in the Olympus event, nothing more. The fact you didn't even understand this shows you are not only incompetent, but sloppy. All you had to do was ask me, but you didn't. You would rather make a video embarrassing yourself.
So, yeah, there were two different things, right?
Taking part on game battles during the event window. It's not from the X Games LAN that Optic won. You earned this by simply competing in the Olympus event, nothing more. The fact you didn't even understand this shows you are not only incompetent, but sloppy. All you had to do was ask me, but you didn't. You would rather make a video embarrassing yourself. And what even is this screenshot? The Old Spice playoffs? Pro circuit tournaments? Do you even know what you're looking at? These are not Game Battles seasonal ladders. It's another example of sloppy research. These are what the ladders...
Didn't GameSpy come after... Game Battle come after GameSpy, because GameSpy fell apart and then Game Battle came about. GameSpy used to be the old Game Battle. I think.
Looked like. Winter and fall, for example. I found this online as an example. Do you know why? Because I knew exactly what to look for, because we all competed in these, while you didn't. You also said there was no such thing as an Xbox 360 arena for World at War. Everything back then was labeled arena. Here's Nameless, competing in all the arenas. Yes, arenas!
This is not real. This is not an event that existed or a leaderboard anywhere that I can find. It's completely fictitious.
Anyway, we haven't even got into the video yet, and already the level of research is awful. So far, all I have seen is probably this, and probably that, because he hasn't got a clue.
He also claims to have been a threat analyst at a high-end security company called Symantec, a high-end cybersecurity firm that works with companies like Norton. And he also claims to be in his PhD research for AI anti-cheat, constantly bringing up his white paper that he supposedly submitted for peer review.
What does it mean constantly bringing it up? I think he's brought it up maybe 2-3 times in the last, maybe 7 videos, and twice in the same video. So... the thing is, what you need to understand about scientific papers, for anyone who's never wrote one, including me, because I never have, you do need other people to read it and check it and try and prove you wrong. So, by mentioning it, he is indirectly and directly going to make people check it and try and prove him wrong, which is what he wants them to do. Because in the end, that would prove him right, because he thinks he's right. So when loads of people check to try and prove him wrong, and they can't, they have to admit they can't, and so it makes him look more right. That's how it works. It's not... I know this game. I did the same thing with dark matter and dark energy.
He a COD pro from 2011 to 2014, and he was a member of Optic Gaming.
This is called misinformation.
Yeah, he never said he was a member of Optic Gaming. He considered the team he played for to be the best in the world because they won everything they entered. And it's called it's a false representation. He's made an assumption, and then he's believed it to be fact, and then built an argument on that assumption. Like, literally, I don't know, you younger generation, you might need to learn a phrase from the olden days. Assumption is the mother of all failures. Alright? If you want to make a failure, use assumptions. Easy.
I have never once made that claim about Optic Gaming. This is exactly what happens with Generation Fruit Loop research. They start with bad information, and then everything that follows is built on that faulty premise. Every claim they make is rooted in a baseless original claim.
And he worked as a threat analyst for Symantec, and he's just now in his PhD research for AI. It is impossible for all of this to be true.
I said for years that I worked as a threat.
How is it impossible? This is why I thought I meant the video, to be honest. Because you'd be surprised how often a hard-working, accomplished person hears that. Oh, that's impossible. You couldn't have done that. I was building websites at 9 years old, qualified computer engineer by the age of 17, but when I try and tell people that, they're like, it takes 5 years to be an engineer. No, that's a chartered engineer for, like, building buildings. It's not the same as a qualified network engineer, is it? Who fixes computer network problems and who can build computer networks. Right? Usually, and then you people are like, oh, we need a degree for that. No, there was no degrees. Universities didn't do network computing back then. There was no computer courses in university back then. Like, they didn't exist. And maybe web design or digital art forms on computers, sure. But actual, like, computer networking, no. It was maybe technical support, basics, basic programming. That was it. There was no degree. It's all, like, local authorities, like Cisco and stuff, you know? And IBM, all that sort of crap. Maybe not IBM, it's Cisco. Why would I say IBM? Who did the Network Plus qualification? Was that Cisco or... Anyway, back to the video.
Analyst. That's not new. I've backed up my claims many times, showing exactly what I've done. I've authored a white paper on computer vision cheats, and I will be publishing it soon officially. And yes, I am working towards a PhD.
By the way, publishing officially means privately. He's already distributed it to a few people to check. He's just letting them check it over before he releases it publicly, which is the wise thing to do, but one of them could steal his ideas without him knowing it, so you should be careful, my friend.
I even developed a fully working computer vision model called Guardian TrueSight, not to mention countless other programs. But of course, it can't be true, because the idiot doesn't understand. That's what Generation Fruit Loops always do. If they can't understand something, then it must be BS. That's their take on everything.
Look, to be fair, I watched your video on this, right? I've been working with computers for 25 years. Well, 20 years, near enough. 18, 17 years. And I barely understood what you were saying. Normally, right, in this video, Call of Shame, you're very understandable to even someone who's dumb. But I understand a lot of technical jargon. I literally speak 4 different versions of English. Geordie, Cockney, BBC and Kings. How are you, man? That's Geordie. Hello. That's Southern, Cockney. Well, and Kings and BBC, just said in different ways. Like, honestly, in England, we speak so many different variations of the language that there is different versions of English completely separate to one another. And I didn't understand what you said most of the time. I understood what you were trying to mean, but the terminology you used and the jargon you used, nobody but someone in your industry would understand that. Which is one of the reasons I knew that you were quite well adept at the subject, because you were speaking with such jargon of your industry that it was gobbledygook to the rest of us, right? I could do the same, you know, if you use analogies and very specific wording with industry jargon, people don't understand what you mean. You know, you're talking about ADSL routers and DSL routers with, you know, RJ45s and stuff. People got no idea. They got no idea. But you just talked about an Ethernet cable. do you know what I mean? Like, come on. So, I, as a highly experienced computer engineer, had no idea what the fuck you were talking about, to be honest. But I understood what you were trying to mean in most of it.
And they never bring evidence, because when they finally do, this happens.
So what about that PhD paper? He will constantly promote his website and his AI anti-cheat, Guardian TrueSight, but when you...
Well, yeah, he's allowed to promote his own product. Like, that's how business works, mate. If you produce a good product, you go and tell the world about it so they buy it. That's what you do.
you actually visit the website, it's only one page, with the 4 buttons at the top only bringing you to different parts of that one page.
This is
Doesn't Nvidia website do the same, and other websites like that as well? I'm sure Nvidia's website does that as well.
called anchor navigation, and it's an
It is,
established
yes. It is, yes.
design used by countless websites. It's simply my design of choice. I like it. I didn't realize I needed to run this by other people just to build my own site.
Oh, you'd be surprised, mate. I came up with my own religion. Sounds stupid, I know. Call me crazy, whatever, I don't care. But basically, I believe in multiple possibilities for all the big answers, instead of just one. All religions and even atheists only believe in one answer. Mine, it's multiple possibilities. So I got to choose the name of my own religion. As you do, you know. If you make a product or you create something, like a child, you get to name them, right? You know, you plant a tree, you get to name the tree. You get a puppy, you get to name the puppy, right? So I created a religion, I got to name the religion. I called it agnostic atheism. And people have a go at me for the name of my religion, saying, I didn't, like, because I say I am the founder of agnostic atheism, they say, oh, you didn't create them words. I didn't say I created them words. So people kick off with me for the name I chose for my faith, because everyone believes in something or nothing. And people have a go at me for the name of my religion that I created. Like, and they've literally sometimes never heard of it until I tell them it, and then they have a go at me for the name. So these people think, like, their opinion matters on the naming system of like, but they don't kick off with Scientologists, even though it's got nothing to do with science, but they kick off with me.
Honestly, it just comes across as jealousy from a very bitter person. But he thinks he's debunking something, so let's roll with it.
I'm secretly really hoping his cheating stuff helped the professionals. Excuse me. I'm really hoping his videos will help EA in stopping cheating, because what you guys need to realize is video gaming online has become a multi-billion-dollar industry, and the tournaments over the next 10 years for games like Battlefield and GTA, the prize monies are going to be in the millions, and they're going to need to make sure that they can stop any kind of possibility of cheating, because otherwise it becomes a legal issue. You know, it's the same in sports. When there's cheating, there's legal issues. There's going to be massive legal issues if these gaming companies don't get on top of these cheaters. Because not only will the products fail, and they will lose their revenue, and their businesses will fail, but they will face legal action from the customers who suffered from them cheats. Like, imagine you pay for a fair game, a fair service in paintballing, and then someone runs in with a machine gun paintball. Everyone else has a normal paintball gun. But this one person runs in with a machine gun paintball gun, wins everything, takes all the prize money, and the regulators and judges and people who ran it did nothing. Eventually it's going to end up in a court. Someone's going to end up in court because they didn't stop cheaters in their game. And I hope it's EA personally, but that's only because they ruined Medal of Honor. I loved Medal of Honor. How dare you do that, EA? Medal of Honor 2010 wasn't as bad as you all think. But they did the same thing that they did with Battlefield 2042. They released it too early. But it was a good game. It got too much hate, but Call of Duty blew it out the water, so it didn't stand a chance. That's why I'm not a Call of Duty fan. Medal of Honor all the way, baby. Woo!
My guess is he fed a lot of this to the AI to help him spit out this paper. And while unreliable, I ran large sections of this text through AI text detectors online.
A lot of people use AI to change their human version of speeches to what AI thinks is better. It's not unheard of. I am clutching at straws here, so I mean it could be entirely AI generated.
Basically all of them said that large portions of the text are 100% AI generated.
Well, that says 85%. It doesn't say 100%. Where's the 100%?
So this guy thinks AI wrote my white paper, created all my images, and guessed at the algorithms I use in my script, right? That's what he's claiming, that my paper is AI generated. Well, I just turned to scripture, because the Lord has used it to stop evil, and it was written over 2,000 years ago. I randomly chose the book of Leviticus to see if that was AI generated, and all it took was a single book of the Bible to shut this clown down.
The thing is, right, we don't even have AI. All these kids think we've got, like, this AI. We don't even have AI. It's human intelligence displayed artificially. We don't even have AI. There's no machine that has taught itself everything and teaches itself every day and is like a sentient being ever evolving. Like, we haven't done that yet. It's a human intelligence put in a machine and displayed artificially so you believe it's AI. It's not AI.
Down. Amen. Moving on.
So what about this AI anti-cheat he's supposedly making? What is it? What does it do? Well, according to him, it's a client-side server-integrated anti-cheat that you can download to spot and protect yourself from cheaters.
Non-kernel level based, if I remember he said as well. Which means you wouldn't require secure boot, but we'll not get into that.
What? According to this guy, you can download my anti-cheat to protect yourself from cheaters. On what planet does an anti-cheat work like that?
Anti-cheat is used to detect cheaters, not stop them. Hell, imagine if you could get software that'll stop cheaters being able to cheat. That's like downloading RAM, that is.
How confused can you be? It has nothing to do with Guardian True
He is as confused as downloading more RAM.
Site and doesn't have any AI visuals. You are talking about a completely different program. This is a user mode anti-cheat and not computer vision. But no, you don't download it to protect yourself. The purpose of that project was for members to privately test it behind closed doors against known cheats to see how it reacted in a real-world environment. It was an...
You see, what us old school gamers used to have to do to identify cheats was we'd have to team up and put the suspect in certain situations where it was impossible for them to know certain things unless they were cheating. You couldn't do it with one person. You always had to do it with more than one, like 2, 3 people, right? And you'd watch them and see what they did in that situation, and you could tell from their actions if they were cheating or not. We didn't used to have AI to analyze stuff for us. We had to do this all by hand and eye, all right? And we didn't have very good streaming and recording software back then, so you didn't check the footage back. You checked in the moment, at the time, and you trusted yourself and your instincts. You kids these days, you're so out of touch.
An application that launched on boot and scanned inside applications as they executed. You can see it working here as it's detecting the known cheats that were active back in 2022. If the scan data matched one of my detected strings, it flagged the cheat and shut it down. It has absolutely nothing to do with protecting yourself from cheaters. That's just a flat-out lie. And since you brought it up, the anti-cheat has advanced significantly since 2022. It can now detect unauthorized software signatures with more improvements on the way. I'll be sharing details about that soon on my site under Guardian Labs. So tell me, how can you talk about my anti-cheat when you clearly have no idea how it works, or what it even does?
And what does server integrated mean here?
It means it's integrated into the server.
Integrated with the game servers? Because I'm highly doubtful of that.
Well, no. How could it be integrated with the game servers? He'd have to be either in the building, or work for them, or have authorized access, or it would be an illegal entrance, which it would be a crime, and then he wouldn't be making a video on YouTube about it. Like, are kids this dumb? What? What?
The only thing this can mean is that it's a client-side and server-side anti-cheat. But in all of his explanations of this system,
I'm sure he said it was client-side.
He only talks about visual detections with AI and not hardware or software detections.
I'm sure he said non-kernel level as well on one of his other videos, so you didn't.
Client.
You wouldn't require secure boot.
Are you kidding me?
And not hardware or software detections.
Client and server side? Are you kidding me? Stop trying to understand things you know nothing about. The client runs on the local machine while the server runs. Well, I will let you guess
The fact you have to explain that is ridiculous.
where that runs from. You just have no idea what you are talking about. I've spoken about my user mode anti-cheat for years across multiple videos. Many community members have tested it, downloaded different builds, and helped me fine-tune it. I've explained in depth how it works across multiple videos. You simply do no research at all. Yet, here you are, stepping in and assuming the TrueSight anti-cheat analysis tool is just some, quote, downloadable client. I have never once said that you can download it. For a start, it's a Python script with a set of installed libraries. And even if you had access to it, I guarantee you that you wouldn't know what it was or how to even run it. You're simply lying. And if you're willing to lie about something you don't even understand, why should anyone trust anything else you say?
What he proposes is that the AI will detect where a player lands their crosshair or shot within a given area, called the bounding box.
False. It has absolutely nothing to do with firing your shots. Nothing to do with recoil, no bullet drop-off. You're just yapping to make it sound like you know what you're talking about, and then build an entire narrative out of your own lies. It's all about how you aim, not when you fire.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It was about where the crosshair goes. It wasn't about any bullets or where you shoot it, so it had nothing to do with clicking. It was where the aim went. And it could decide... Okay, so I haven't watched the rest of this video, obviously. I don't know what they're about to say. I have watched previous videos, so from what I have deciphered, from what he's explained to me in those videos, is that this software can tell the difference between human aiming and machine-assisted or machine aiming. So obviously you have two different types of cheating. You have assisted cheating and then full-blown. The machine's got full control sort of thing. And it's supposed to be able to detect human behavior and actions over machine actions. If this makes sense to you, anyone watching.
The problem
That's what I understood. Now I'm not an expert on this, so
is the UI he constantly overlays onto gameplay is not consistent, and it feels more like a slider he moves when he puts it over gameplay he thinks is cheated.
False. TrueSight's official channel features many streamers I originally suspected of cheating, but it turned out they weren't. For example, I was convinced that this guy was using something to assist his aim. I ran his gameplay through TrueSight and released a video that proved the opposite.
See? He's admitted he's wrong. There you go. See, that's something you can usually mark as integrity on someone. If someone can admit they're wrong, usually they're 9 times out of 10 they're going to be a better person than someone who can't admit they're wrong. Like I've never met someone who can't admit they're wrong who's a good person. Like, it's only those who can who tend to be honest, decent people. Because we all make mistakes. No one's perfect. It's only those who can admit to it are better than the ones who can't.
I never would have known that without TrueSight. The anti-cheat analysis tool doesn't just catch people I think are cheating, it often does the opposite. While it certainly detects cheaters, it also provides a clear verification for others. Many streamers on the channel have been vindicated thanks to this tool. So once again, you're simply lying.
Notice anything interesting about the
I've been accused of cheating many times in 20 years, so this is of great interest to me because I've never cheated. And I take it as a compliment when someone calls me a cheater because it means I'm being so good, they think I must be cheating to be that good. And, yeah, I've never cheated. Never. I mean, obviously I've cheated in, like, GTA offline when I was a kid, you know, up, down, left, right, whatever it was. Get all the weapons sort of thing. But in online gaming, I've never cheated in my life. Not a single game in my entire life. I think in World of Warcraft, I used to use a glitch to go under the city of Orgrimmar. And then I'd put in the old chat, 100 gold if you can find me, knowing full well no one could find me. And even if they could, I was a mage. I just teleport. But anyway,
Battlefield 5 gameplay?
I did pay 2 people for doing that because they did catch me, by the way. But yeah, I could have just teleported to be a dick.
So he forgot to change his model from Battlefield 6.
You cannot be serious.
He said in the video that I saw, I think it was not the last one or the one before that, but the one before that, that it was a model built on an older Call of Duty that he had tried to apply to Battlefield 6, but it didn't work perfectly, and to excuse him for that, I believe, could be wrong, might be slight different details.
I've explained this many times, and the community can vouch for it. I made it clear that I don't have the datasets for Battlefield 6, so I used the Call of Duty ones for Riley's gameplay. I never once showed the complete true sight detections because I specifically said it would be unfair to apply Call of Duty datasets to Battlefield.
Yeah, that's what he said, and he said he said he was sorry to anyone who might get incorrectly negative or whatever things from this. Do you know what I mean?
The reason it says Battlefield 6 is because I was testing the Call of Duty datasets over Battlefield 6 gameplay. I even explained this in a video while showing exactly what I was doing across multiple videos. You do absolutely no research.
Bloody adverts, man.
Notice the names of real people tied to university or company names? Notice the copyright cited for the images they include? Proper formatting, proper source list. Notice how many other academic papers are linked in these sources. Now go back to the Call of Shame paper. Do you notice anything different? Ah yes, random articles and YouTube videos cited in his sources.
You mentioned that I didn't copyright any of the images, because they are all my own images. It's my own software. This is Activision's white paper on ranked play matchmaking. But where is the copyright for the images? Oh, that's right. When a company posts a white paper using their own images, you don't need to do this. And as for me not sourcing other white papers, wrong again. Activision haven't done this. Do you know why? Because they don't need to. That's why. Their references are actually their own white papers on similar subjects. When I write another white paper on my user mode anti-cheat, I'll also be linking it in my sources. I can't cite something I haven't written yet. Oh, and just to make you look even more like an idiot, I actually do link to multiple academic papers. Cast your eyes to section 14. This source cites a white paper on research on the application of artificial intelligence in online games.
This is the one thing that I'm happy about fake AI doing. Like, if AI can stop cheaters in online games, I will love it forever. All hail our AI overlords.
Source 16 links to a white paper on the new usage of telemetry for anti-cheating in FPS games. And source 17, this is a direct link to another white paper from the University of London talking about AI cheat detection. So once again, you're just yapping. You're literally looking at my sources and ignoring them. You don't even know what you're looking at. You just yap about things you know absolutely nothing about. You have
That's what kids do, man. That's what kids do.
tried so hard to discredit my white paper, it must be eating at your soul. It's hilarious. Oh, and as for my sources being some random articles and YouTube videos, I'm going to slow it down so everyone can see what a complete liar this person is. Take a look. Every source I've cited in the paper links directly to relevant anti-cheat AI detection articles, showing how effective AI can be at detecting cheats in multiplayer games. Every source matters, because my research is built on exactly that. This is my own research, and the sources I used are both relevant and essential to my paper. You tried to make it seem like they're random links, but they're not. The jealousy is eating you alive. Also, I just find it hilarious that you used a clip of cheating from Caldera, a video I've already broken down many times in my own content. You tried to claim that this is soft aim and somehow nothing like what Riley is doing. Sorry, but I completely disagree. The fact that you can't see the similarities honestly baffles me. I just found that part too funny not to include.
This screenshot instantly got shipped around to all the other channels covering this, and it's probably not even a real screenshot. We do love a little bit of deception.
Do you do any research at all? That screenshot came directly from Ender's own video.
And here's the appeal, here's the initial ban that Riley sent me. The appeal was denied.
You're just making up lies, trying to paint me as a fraud over a screenshot.
And it's probably not even a real screenshot.
Yeah, if it's from the video of these guys, then even if it was made up, he didn't make it up. Someone else did, and he thought it was real. So
We do love a little bit of deception.
What deception are you even talking about?
Do we really like a bit of deception? Or is that just this individual projecting their own mind onto us? Because I don't like deception. Unless it's for comedy, sure. But when it's genuine deception, no. I despise it.
It's literally right there in front of you.
He talks about using this model in one of the first videos he made on Riley, saying computer cheats will just pick up the rhombus above players' heads, the little orange indicator. He then shows footage of Riley flicking to the rock, and shows this.
They often just look for that rhombus. That's why I found it interesting when this player snapped to a rock, because with computer vision, this shape would be perfectly aligned. That little detail definitely caught my attention.
Except the biggest problem is the rhombus is always at the center of the screen. It's the objective marker. It's even at the center of the screen for the footage he or his AI chose to put here.
Why did you cut the clip? Why didn't you show the full explanation? Oh, right. Maybe because it didn't fit your narrative. You deliberately manipulated my video to make it seem like I was detecting stationary objects as false positives in a desperate and a manipulative attempt to discredit my anti-cheat analysis tool. Let's just play the full clip like you should have done before cutting it short. Would be perfectly aligned. That little detail definitely caught my attention. But these detections are poor, so it's finding clumps of leaves and everything. And this is why you can't just detect shapes. Now, I'm not saying 100% that he's using this. I can't. My model for Battlefield isn't fully ready yet, but I quickly discovered that wasn't effective because the system was also detecting other in-game rhombus shapes that weren't tied to enemies. I abandoned that approach and went back to my standard detection methods, which focus on identifying players based on how they interact with the map. As you just heard, I clearly explained that I was testing new methods in Battlefield, and I actually abandoned that approach after noticing it was giving false positives. You tried to make it appear as if I was using this in my model, when in reality I was testing different detection methods during the Battlefield beta to see what worked and what didn't.
False representation seems to be a common tool of the modern generations. They will either falsely represent you or falsely what's the word? So they either falsely represent you or falsely impersonate you. So they'll say something you said, but they'll say something different and say you said that when you didn't, which is a false impersonation.
That's called research, something you clearly don't understand the meaning of.
I don't know why the modern generations do it. It just seems so normal to them to falsely impersonate everyone around them as if they speak for them. I don't get it. Don't get it.
When you try to go download the software, it just gives you a dead link.
Don't raise dragons right off.
What the hell do you think you are downloading? Where is the dead link? There is nothing on my website to download in terms of software. How can anyone be this badly confused? There is literally nothing to download. I mean, what? The rest of his video is just him rambling and circling back to evidence I've already debunked. You tried to debunk my work with maybe this and probably that. You're completely mixing up how anti-cheats work and what you're looking at. You took shots at my site, past employment, white paper, game battles history, and the software and failed miserably. It reeks of jealousy. Riley CS can't defend himself, so he depends on people like you to flat out lie and talk about things you know nothing about. I'm out here trying to make a difference. Meanwhile, the haters are constantly at my bones trying to drag me down in everything I accomplish. These little gremlins, they keep clawing at my ankles because they have nothing better to do with their pathetic, depressing little lives. Be constructive. Get off social media, focus on something meaningful, and stop obsessing over me. Everything you said is false, and you have lied about everything. And cutting clips to sell your fabricated lie is just embarrassing.
Okay. I'd like to point out, I don't think they're lying, because I don't think they are aware that they are wrong, so they're mistaken. You can only be lying if you know that you're wrong when you say it. So I don't think they know they're wrong, so I don't think it's lying. I think they're mistaken. Now, I also don't think it's because they're jealous. Without sounding disrespectful, not that there's anything not to be jealous of, I'm sure there's plenty to be jealous of, but I think what it is simply they've obviously been following this streamer Riley, who you've debunked as a cheater, and maybe other streamers who you've debunked as well, and they would rather believe that you're wrong than they were wrong to follow these streamers, if that makes sense. Because it's easier to attack you for making these people they like out to be cheaters than to accept that they've been wasting their time following a cheater who lies about being good at games, who actually uses software and isn't good at games. They might have even spent money donating to them, and so they would have to admit that they essentially got scammed out of money by a man on the internet who looked at them while they smiled and played games while they did it. And so it's easier to attack you as the man who's trying to stop that rather than admit that they got scammed by a fake gamer, basically. The human mind is not as complicated as you think, my friend. It's really not. And as much as I have some accomplishments and maybe in physics and other things in computers, I'm very good at biology and the human mind. If only I could fix my own mind, it'd be great, but I've got a broken mind just like the rest of us. So anyway, yeah, it's been an interesting video. I've been watching this guy every day, basically, because he does a video. And he obviously was doing exactly what I knew people were doing, which was testing out their software and hacks and stuff during the beta, because it's free, so you don't have to pay to buy a game to test it. So anyone who makes software to stop cheaters or to make software to cheat would have been using it during the beta. And he helped prove my point. And so I've been watching him because I like it when people prove I'm right. I'm sure most people do. So thanks very much. I'll catch you in the next one. Roll on Battlefield 6, eh? Fucking roll on.